It's funny, I was thinking it yesterday. I was writing. I was, not writing, but I made a video, and I put it up on one of my other channels, but it was actually a pretty good video. I was talking about, what did I said something again, I remember I laughed a little bit, but then I kept thinking, all these people who would, give me these big moral lectures on things. And it made me realize something, because I even looked up the word just to see if somebody even came up with this word, this phrase. I thought of it. It's like we talk about moral, we talk about pseudo-intellectuals. Well, there are people who have something what I call a pseudo-morality, It's like, it's not really morality. Cause you know what the thought occurred to me? Because there's one guy I know. He vaguely knows me. He knows my brother and my sister. But, he writes on Facebook. And like every other thing, he always said, sends one of these things, which basically shows I'm a good person. It's almost like as if that's what your whole point is, to say, I'm a good person because I'm going to forward you something that, some feel-good story. Like there's some grandpa, I'm 98 years old and like my message 1,000 times. Put like on there 1,000 likes. If I get 1,000 likes, that would make my, and it's like this feel good. Oh, I'm doing something to help somebody. Oh, I'm doing something to help somebody. Oh, I'm helping, so-and-so has been missing for 50 days. Help this person. Oh, this, forward this if you believe that people shouldn't walk around with their pants pulled down to the ground. And, it's like the same old shit. It's like you keep forwarding these things. And the whole point of that is to say, look, I'm a good person. I'm a decent person. I have all the right values in life, And I always think that that's kind of like pseudo-morality. It's not, it doesn't tell me anything about you. But it's supposed to tell me tons of things. And it's supposed to leave an impression, which gets me into some things for a moment. There are many people who give you an impression. The impression of being intellectual. The impression of being moral. Look, I say 1,000,000 times, and I will say it 1,000,000 times more, I'm just a guy with a camera and an opinion. I'm no better or worse than anybody else. Trust me. There are lots of things I do in my personal, private life. I think people would have completely different visions of me if they knew. Nothing illegal, but still the things I do that just don't fit. I have interest in things that people might not go along with. Look, one thing, I'm not a vegetarian, okay? Right off the bat. I love meat. I love meat. I never met an animal I didn't want to eat. Let's get real. So, I know that there are many friends I have who are into the vegetarian thing and all these reasons. I don't believe animals should be mistreated, I mean, I go out there and I'm in the park and I'm always, I used to, talk with the squirrels and stuff, and people would think I'm crazy. I love animals. But, I'm not a vegetarian and I don't think I ever will be. I'm not a person who's into different causes and trying to change the world, because I just don't. I'm a person who believes in God, but at the same time, I'm not a Bible thumper. And I'm a person who looks at things in the Bible and I kind of could laugh at some of the stories. Some things are just preposterous from a scientific perspective. It just could not be. I'm not a person who's trying to defend anything. I'm just a person who's just being, and that's all. And that's why I say I'm just a guy with a camera and an opinion. Nothing special. I think most of us just want to be that kind of person. Just, to be ourselves. But sometimes we have a lot of pressure on us to fit in. We're told that we have to be a part of something. We have to do something. We have to stand up for something, which got me into some thoughts on my mind about something. And I was talking about a certain topic, which I don't talk about here that much. But I was thinking about people taking a stand. And I thought about this, and I kept thinking about atheism itself. The atheism is a stand. And the thought on my mind was that atheism itself is kind of a defense mechanism. Because it has to do not so much with religion. And I get to thinking it's like something I wrote that I should actually bring my little pad with me. Because I can read from a little email that I wrote. And I said that that long time ago, people were hurt. People got hurt. Somebody said something. Somebody did something. You know, basically what it wasn't a single incident, but it was a consistent incident. It's a consistent thing. It's like when people lie to you about things. It doesn't even have to be some dramatic lie. It's just being lied to all the time. Somebody telling you things that just aren't true. You know, I got a lot of lies when I was growing up. My mother used to lie about things a lot. And I say that honestly. I had lots of people who lied to me and lied and lied and lied and lied. And you get to a point when somebody constantly lies. You know, when I grew up, I began to distinguish what was true from what wasn't true. And some things I still don't know to this day if they are or if they aren't or what went on. But you know what? It's okay because I've learned that there are sources that you can't really count on for truth. And I think one of the tough things too at times is like when people, sometimes the person who lied to you can also say things that are true. They can say things that are true, and you know some of the things they say are true, but some of the things they say are lies, or exaggerations, or misinterpretations, or however they even giving you this incorrect information. Why they're doing it either on purpose, sometimes yes, on purpose, sometimes because they just don't know things, or they don't understand things, or they misinterpret the world. Whatever. I think what it is that many times I think atheism, as I see it, really is kind of like a rebellion against being lied to about things, or being given information that isn't true. And it's almost like a demand to have the truth, which kind of is like what religious people try to get to. You know, when I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, they always, many times the Jehovah's Witness will always refer to their religion as the truth, simply as the truth. You know, when I used to be in the truth, or I was in the truth, or I'm still in the truth, or we're in the truth, or they would just refer to it as the truth, not the Jehovah's Witnesses. And, you just get the thing of what is truth? It's the thing that is the case, so to speak, as Wittgenstein might say. It's things that are the case. What is the case? And that's always the thing in life, to ask that question. What is the case? I mean, what's the case? Again, people give you an impression of something. They leave you with an impression that they're very moral people. They have a morality. They're moral. And you should understand that. You should understand their morality. That I am a very moral person, and I'm a righteous person, and I know what's right, and I know what's moral, and I know how people should behave, and I know how people should feel, and how we should, but here comes the thing that always occurs to me, and what's on my mind all the time. There is something I call being practical. Being practical means being realistic. I'm the person who, when I was in AFC, and that's where I used to work, which means Application File Center. When I used to work in that job, I had to do things. Okay, I was the one person who was doing something. In a world where you actually have to do things and there are consequences and you get feedback, that's a different world than when you leave an impression. It's like the Facebook thing when I'm talking about the guy who leaves the Facebook stuff. Send this flower to everybody so that we may do something to raise cancer. Or do this thing, or forward these emails and Bill Gates will pay money. And this child is missing. And it's like all this wonderful, this person. And there are people who would say, so-and-so really cares about people. Because he's always sending these emails. And he's always forwarding these messages. And he really cares about people. Yeah, but when it comes to actually delivering in real life with people around you, like what I used to have to do. Those same people who would always forward stuff, those were the biggest obstacles I had to overcome. Because what I did was real. What they did was bullshit. And they couldn't stand somebody like me. And I know it. That's the way it is.